think the Covenant of Love ministry in our parish has been a ministry that has opened the doors for many couples in the community to really reflect upon the importance of the dignity and the value of the sacrament of marriage. So often in the church we speak a lot about commitment, relationship, and certainly in realms of marriage, but I don't think as a church, as an institution, we really have done justice to the beauty of the sacrament of marriage. The Covenant of Love ministry calls couples to step back, to look at the commitment that they made whenever they did when they got married, and then began to look at how does that apply and how has that been influenced by their day-to-day living and by the gospel and certainly by the church's teaching on marriage. In today's society and culture, people tend to look at relationship as, well, if it's good, if I like it, if it's been something it's okay with me, I'll stay with it. We don't do a lot of reflection upon what is marriage and what did God intend for marriage to be and how are we called to live it. The Covenant of Love ministry, I think, invites couples to look at their commitment, to look at what the church says about their commitment, and to see how the church is there to assist them, as well as being assisted by one another, meaning kind of a couple-to-couple ministry. I've seen the couples in the parish, whether there are 15, 20, or 30 couples that come once a month, you see a change in people's relationships. Not just because, they relate better, but their understanding of that commitment no doubt has grown. When I hear people or I hear couples say, I never thought about what God intended for us in the realms of the vocation of marriage. What a different way than just saying, we get married because, that's what everybody does. As opposed to, how does the church invite us to look at marriage? How does God intend for us to live out our marriage? So I think that Covenant Love ministry in our community has really empowered couples to really look at how can we joyfully live out the sacrament of marriage. Not just because we have to, but I want to. And what are the fruits of it? That in itself, in turn, has no doubt influenced family life. Marriage is where we receive the ability from the sacrament of marriage to live out all of our vocations, whether it's single life, priesthood, religious, etc. But if people don't understand their marriage commitment, how will they ever understand what it means to be in listening to faithful to God? We are in a society and a culture where we need to look at that sacrament of marriage and not just take it for granted, which I think for many years we have done so. We have a long way to go. We are just touching, I think, the beginnings of the importance of what we can or what we should do with the sacrament of marriage. But at least Covenant Love ministry has begun to open that door, which causes couples then to ask other questions. Well, what about this? How can we, as a family, how does our parish ministries, how does our sacraments, how does our, whatever we do in the parish life, how is that impacted? How does that impact marriage? Or how does marriage impact the life of the church? So I think the Covenant Love ministry has begun to open those doors and gives us a forum in order to talk about the value and the dignity of marriage and how God has called us to live.